Alright, Shalom Yasharala. Peace, Israel. First and foremost, as always, call her Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Hawakakadash, and a double honor to our elders, apostle of GMS whole world. And peace and blessings to the hopefully like Akim that are out there pushing this gospel, this doctrine of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, in righteousness and sincerity and in truth, and also Shalom, Wa Barakatham. Peace and blessings to the brethren and the few sisters that may be tuning and listen, learning, studying under the vibration of Yahweh Hashem Shabbat Hashem Hawakakadash, and once again to Yahweh Shai for allowing us to be able to understand this good news, this wonderful gospel. I want to do a lesson real quick on the current state of the world. Ever since the war in Ukraine, like the Russians like to call it, a special operation in Ukraine. Guess what? That's affecting the world economy. And when the war kicks in, right? When the operation kicks in, guess what? They put sanction the West, NATO, and EU, especially the US, because the NATO and the EU are nothing but an organization that put in place by the US to control those vassal state European countries, like countries like France, Germany, England, guess what? These countries are nothing but a vassal state to the US. The leaders are doing exactly what the US tells them to do. Even if it's not in their best interest, they will do it because as the scripture says, man, the US does a great whole, man. They give their power unto the beast, and that's exactly what it is, man. So ever since the war kicks in, this thing happened, the bombing of the North Stream pipeline was blew up by who? By the U.S. Joe Biden, Anthony Blinken's, Jake Sullivan, those neocons. You know what I'm saying? Because what they was realizing that the German economy was the biggest economy in Europe, and the Germans was gonna be becoming more and more independent, more sovereign, and the US didn't like that, so they blew up the pipeline because they want them to be in line. They want them to rely on them, and that's exactly what happened, and that's trickled down. Now, what do you have in Germany? In Germany now, you have an inflation, a recession. Inflation, recession are happening in Germany, in France, in Britain, but the media don't talks about it because it's not in the best interest of them to let the American people knows what's going on, because eventually people are gonna start asking questions. And what's happening abroad, we always said, what's happening abroad is going to affect your Babylonian ways of life, man. Your way of life as you know it every day is getting tighter and tighter, and that's exactly what it is. So let's go over the article real quick. And Lord Willing, man, it's edifying. And it says German economy enter recession as inflation hurt consumers. And this is Berlin. It's an article May 21st, very recently. Or rather, the German economy was in a recession in early 2023 after household spending in Europe's economic engine finally succumbed to the pressure of high inflation. So high inflation, we already know what high inflation is. When you're paying a lot of money for the same things that you used to have in the past for a small amount of money, And it says gross domestic products fell by 0.3% in the first quarter of the year when adjusted for price and calendar effect. A second estimate from the statistic office show on Thursday this follow a decline of 0.5% in the fourth quarter of 2022. A recession is commonly defined as two successive quarter of contraction. The German GDP data show surprisingly negative signal. While these countries are going into recession, the Germans, the French, the English, the Italians, guess what? Russia economy is being booming. So the US thought that by imposing sanction on Russia, it was gonna affect the Russians. Meanwhile, guess what? What happened is the sanction that they imposed on Russia ended up hurting America and the EU more than Russia, man. That's exactly what it is. Because whether you like it or not, man, Vladimir Putin is a strategist, man. He's a strategist. And he knows, man. He knew that this was planned, man. Him invading Ukraine was planned because he knew that when he go to invade Ukraine, eventually they was going to section him. So he pretty much he had a plan. He laid down perfectly. And when the US and the NATO imposed section on Russia, it didn't affect him as it should have been because he was ready for it. He knew it, man. That's the section right now are being backfire on the US and the EU, man. Matter of fact, let's get a precept real quick. Now the section is hurting the US and NATO way more than Russia. Let's get that precept real quick. He that dig for Pete. Let's get that real quick. Yep, it's in two different books. Proverbs 26 verse 27. Whosoever diggeth for pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it shall return upon him. And that's exactly what it is. So the US and NATO, they thought that by imposing sanction on Russia, that was gonna destroy the Russian economy, and eventually they thought that the population of the Russians was gonna come or was gonna revolted against Vladimir Putin, and that was gonna cause a civil unrest down there. But what they failed to realize that by them imposing sanction on Russia, guess what? They actually it actually helped the Russian economy, man. That's what's happening. Meanwhile, you have the NATO, the EU, the economy is on shamble. It's collapsing. They are right now in a recession. Inflation is high as never seen before, and as you can see, the Great Depression that happened in the 1930s, that's what's about to come, gonna make what happened look like a playground, man. That's how bad, that's how chaotic it's going to be. The crashing of the economy is inevitable. Is inevitable, and also the crashing of the house market, man. That's what's coming. That's exactly what's coming, man. Let's go back to the article real quick, and it says I don't want Germany to play in a league in which we have to regulate ourselves. So to the last position, he said, referring to the forecast of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, which predicted a recession in 2023 only in Germany and Britain among European countries. So that's they're going through it right now. What's the devil name who said Europe was a garden? Europe was a garden, and the whole world is a jungle. We have to protect the garden from the jungle. Guess what? Right now, very soon, the European nations, countries, they're gonna become like a jungle, man. They're gonna be like a third world countries, just like they did to in Africa, in Haiti, in Venezuela, guess what? The same condition that they impose on in other nations, guess what? That's gonna backfire on them, man. The Lord gonna visit them the same way that they did to the whole world, man. That's what's coming. You devils are gonna reap what you sow, man. Matter of fact, let's get a free piece up real quick, man. This Galatians chapter 6, Galatians 6 and 7. Let's get that real quick, man. Galatians 6. I didn't have anything written down, so I'm just going to the Spirit. Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. And he says, Galatians 6 and 7, right? Right. Am I bugging or what? Galatians 6 and 7. Am I bugging? Be not deceived. Okay. Let me see. I thought it was in Galatians. Galatians 6 and 7. Galatians 6. Yep. Okay, I was looking at it from the side of the NLC. Galatians 6 verse 7. Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever men sow, that shall also reap. And that's exactly what this country is about to reap, man. They saw nothing but oppressions, chaos. They turn countries into wilderness. When you go to South America, when you go to the Caribbean, you have ghettos, favelas. That's because of the foreign policy of the U.S. in NATO, in the EU nations, man. Wherever jigs are found, guess what? We are in the worst condition. We are catching hell, man. Guess who's responsible for that? It's Edom, man. These are European nations that took part in the slave trade, man. The French, the Spanish, the Portuguese, the English, the Dutch. Guess what? The world right now is collapsing as we speak. And again, toward Yahweh Shemashah for that, man. The Americans, they all had a hand in our destruction, man. And guess what? The Lord Yahweh Shemashah going to visit them, man, for what they have done to us, man. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Some Jeremiah 49. Jeremiah 49. Jeremiah 49. Jeremiah 49. Jeremiah 49 verse 8. Jeremiah 49 verse 8. And it says, flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitant of the Don, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. And that's exactly what it is. The same measurement that this devil has used against us, that's the same way that the Lord Yahweh Hashem is going to visit them, man. The same tactic, man. Imposing section on Jake's countries, man. South America, like I said before. Venezuela is the second most OPEC nations, right? They produce more oil, after Saudi Arabia. But right now, if you go to Venezuela, the people are catching hell. Why? Because the U.S. imposed section on them, man. Because the U.S. wants to change the government, because the government that they have down there wanted to do good for the people, and the U.S. don't like that, and that's why they had to kill Hugo Chavez. When Hugo Chavez was killed, assassinated, poisoned, Nicolas Maduro took over, and the U.S. didn't like that. They had this guy called Guaido. That's who they wanted to be in charge over there. But Maduro keep on fighting, and his people backed him up. Still today, he's still the president. He's the president down there, man. But the U.S. didn't like that. In return, guess what? They put sanction on Venezuela, and that's why down there you have the people are fleeing from Venezuela to come over here, man. Because Hyperinflation is kicking them in the ass down there, man. Or people are catching hell wherever they are, man. The same thing this devil did in Syria. Assad, man. Assad doesn't want to bow down to the will of America. So they've been trying to get rid of him for quite a while now. If it wasn't for Russia, if it wasn't for Vladimir Putin, Russia, and their private military contractor called what is it called? The Russians private military contractor. It's in my mouth, man. What is it called again? Come on, man. What is it called? What is it called? If it wasn't for it, they would have get rid of Assad a long time ago, man. What's it called? What is it called again? I forgot, man. I forgot. They would have get rid of Bashar al-Assad a long time ago, but because of Russia backing them up, that's why he's still in power down there. So wherever a country, wherever a leader wants to do good for the people, guess what? The U.S. is against it. They come down there and they take down the government. They put down people in charge, and the resources of the people, it's like the resources of the nations. The resources of the nations goes back to the U.S., man. And that's exactly what the U.S. have done all across the globe, man. And the people are fed up. The people are fed up. The people are tired. And Yahweh Shai is exposing these devils for who they are, man. For being the wicked, man. Vermin. They are cancer. They are a virus, man. That's how they are. That's how they need a host to survive. A virus need a host to survive. And that's exactly what Esau is. And Esau has to live up to the natural resources of the what so-called third world countries, because there is no such thing as third world countries. Third world countries are rich in natural resources. They have oil. Like take Haiti for example. Haiti has oil, diamond, all kind of precious metals. But they use Esau, these devils, they put the on puppet in there, so that the U.S. can do whatever they want, man. Guess what? You devils' time are limited, man. Yahweh Shai is about to raise up the tribes to come against you devils, man. Them devils. and when you look at the condition of our people, man, it breaks your heart. But ultimately, we know it's because of our hard-headedness. It's because of our wickedness that these devils was placed over us, man. It's all a learning lesson. It's all a learning process, man. We have to learn these things, man. So when you come to power, man, we're gonna fuck these devils really bad, man. They're gonna be begging for mercy, just like it says in Lazarus and the rich man. With these devils, they're going to be begging for mercy, man, from us, man. When we're in power, man, we're gonna reward them. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Let's get some precept, man. We reward them as she rewarded you. That's exactly what we're going to do to these devils, man. I can't wait, man. I can't wait, man. Lord willing, man. Lord willing, gonna make it, man. Revelation 18, verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. For strong is the Lord power, Yahweh Shemashai will judge her. And it says, and the kings, motherfucker, it says, we reward her. Motherfucker, verse 7, how much she shall glorify herself and live deliciously. So much torment and sorrow gave her. For she said in her heart, I see the queen, and I'm no widow, and no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And that's exactly what it is. That's the mind frame of the devils. They think that they shall never be in adversities, but they are mistaken, because the Lord Yahweh Shemashai already it's already written, man, that they're going down, that the society is about to collapse, man. So that was a quick lesson, man. A lot of rumbling, but also the spirit, man. So that was a quick lesson, man. What's happening abroad, what's happening down there in Germany, in the UK, in France, guess what? That's coming over here to America. So that's get buckle up, man. So that was a lesson, man. On Law Walling, Salakia Law Walling. It was edifying. I want to say Kaholo Yamlaya Hawa Hashim Shaba Hashem Hawa Kakadash, and a double honor to our elders apostle of Gems whole wow. What's the next time, Shalom?